Alrighty, we're going to fire up another Vintage Cube Phantom draft. Last one went well. Let's see if this one goes even better. I guess this is what happens when you don't try to queue up at 6 in the morning. You actually get players in a timely manner. And there we go. It looks like we can't escape the MOX jet. It is following us around. But that is okay, we're just going to take it again. What else is in the pack that's even worth looking at here? Chandra's good, Primeval Titan's good, Elite Spellbinder's good, Karmic Guide, Bone Crusher, Fatal Push. Guess there's a world where Knight of Autumn becomes worth as well, but we'll just take the Mox Jet. Be pretty happy with opening power. We're looking at what the hell is this? Well, there's Karn, which is just a fine enough card, I guess. Elder Gogoroth, Direfleet Daredevil. This card looks like the best one in the pack right now, unless I want to take a land. Karn keeps us the most open. Breeding Pool is just a generally good card. This actually does stuff. This is card advantage, and it beats down for more every turn. We're gonna take it. Eidolon, Tundra, Sheldark, Worn Power Stone, Woodfall Primus, Grief. Grief is a pretty powerful card. I think I'm somewhere between Grief and Eidolon. Tireless Tracker's not bad. Just go with Grief here. Consecrated Sphinx. Consecrated Sphinx is a hell of a card, that's for damn sure. Right now it's between that, Hymn to Torok, and Embereth Shieldbreaker. I was very impressed with Shieldbreaker in the last draft. I think it would be just fine in this one as well. But Consecrated Sphinx is a real beating. I think we will take it. Really want to take the Hymn to Torok, to be honest. Turn 1 Hymn just destroys your opponent. Take the Sphinx. We're all Ashen Rider, Murktide, Thirst for Discovery, Scrap Heap Scrounger. Not a lot there. There's a Creeping Tar Pit, though. We want to play this Consecrated Sphinx and the Grief. That's definitely the ideal pick. I don't think it's Terastodon. If we end up in blue-black, there might be some kind of reanimation strategy, but I don't really know if Ashen Rider is what we want to get into this early. Fingerback Walkers, Skyclave Shade, Niv Mizzet. We're back to seeing some red cards again. Imperial Recruiter was good last time, but we had, obviously stuff to do with it. Light up the stage, Sword of Fire and Ice, Goblin Electromancer. I don't think we're doing Storm. Skyclave Shade is not bad. We'll take it. Yeah, now we have a Ravenous Chupacabra. That's certainly a good card. We'll reserve it. Trinket Mage gets the MOX, but once again, it's the only target we have, so I don't think I'm on board yet. What's Satoru do? Oh, well, that's certainly interesting. 3 mana 2/4 with bonus text. I think Ravenous Chupacabra is better, but I could definitely see how that would be a good card. Mesmeric Fiend or Suspicious Stowaway? Mesmeric Fiend is pretty good. Those are the only two things that are really on my list right now. Brain Freeze is an okay sideboard card. Spectral Procession is way away from what we're trying to do. Hazoret I just don't like in almost any deck except Mono Red Aggro. Wasteland, I don't think we have good enough mana to justify it, and we don't even really know what we're doing yet. We'll take the Mesmeric Fiend because it's just good to have interaction. Reality Chip, what the fuck is that? Huh, that's an interesting one. I think we take the Fatal Push instead, however. Well, these are some of the more clunky cards in the format. Trying to make some sense that there would be some chaff near the end, although R shards is obviously kind of busted. I don't think we're playing red. The thing we want to see least is probably R shards. We'll move it to the sideboard. Days? We'll play Days. There's a Silent Clearing and an Embereth Shieldbreaker that came back. I don't know why people are passing this card. It's definitely worth playing. Brawl and Murktide Regent. We don't have any Delve cards yet, but I think Brawl is... Eh, yeah, we'll play the Murktide. Why not? Light Up the Stage and Goblin Electromancer. And Light Up the Stage is kind of a divination that has some extra stuff, but we'll go with, yeah, we'll take it, whatever. And then the Magda. Seeing a lot of red cards near the end, and they're not bad cards. Magda's not bad. Light Up the Stage is actively good. Embereth Shieldbreaker is great. So, I think people are just not really respecting red right now. There's a possibility that we just drop blue, try to make red-black happen. Well, now we're seeing Thieving Skydiver opposition again. There's an Entomb. Entomb is pretty good with Consecrated Sphinx if we end up getting some kind of reanimation. Also, Night's Whisper. So if we take Entomb here, we're looking to get back Thieving Skydiver, Night's Whisper, or possibly Opposition or Jete. I think we do take Entomb, highest upside. I really like the Skydiver, but I mean, we're not exactly hurting for cheap interactive cards. We're looking for a game plan right now. Brave Titan. It's a card. I don't know if it's really the one we're looking for. Sphinx of the Steel Wind is more of a poser than anything. Grave Titan. Grave Titan's kind of the classic. I like Sower of Temptation though. There are decks and overall game plans where Sower just owns people. Ooh, this is a tough one. I mean, if we're not doing reanimation, Sphinx is just a blank. Grave Titan is just a big clunky card. Sower's going to be pretty good almost no matter what we do. But Scarab God is just overall probably the most powerful one. Now we have a Narset, which is almost certainly going to be the pick here. I haven't even looked at almost anything else. There's a MOX, which will help speed us up and make us more consistent, but it does force us to pitch a card, and we've seen some games in this format get pretty grindy. I'm not really interested in pitching too many cards. I think we do take the Narset. I don't think we're going to get the Chrome MOX back, but maybe the Hero's Downfall might actually make the deck. There's a Jace, and a Riftwing, and a Corpse Dance. We don't have any of the good reanimation targets for Corpse Dance yet. Jace is probably up there with Riftwing as far as the best cards in the pack here. Neither of these fetches do anything for me, and Custody Lich is fine but a little expensive. We will take the Riftwing. Were we kidding? That's a 2-drop. Put it right there. Important, Gilded Drake, Sedgemoor Witch. Entomb, Fatal Push, Daze. It's only 3 instants or sorceries. It's not too much for Sedgemoor Witch. Gilded Drake is a great sideboard card. Yeah, we'll take it. Tendrils or Bloodchief's Thirst, and there's a Goldspan Dragon. Jeez. Goldspan's definitely a good card, and a fine enough reanimation target, but I think we just take the Bloodchief's Thirst here. Either that or Crypt Breaker, which is a discard outlet. I think we take the Bloodchief's Thirst. There's an Ulamog, but it's not the good Ulamog. That's kind of the medium one. It's not really doing anything unless we get it back with Scarab God. You kind of do have to attack with it twice for it to do anything. There's Palancron. Palancron is a combo card, but we don't have anything to do with it yet. There's also Vampire Hexmage, which is just a fine card. Take the Ulamog for the sideboard. Bitter Blossom, Gonti, and Sword of Body and Mind. Bitter Blossom is one of those cards that will definitely win us some games, but other times it just kind of doesn't do much. A little slow. Gonti is just fun. I'm gonna play Gonti. Thieving Skydiver comes back. Pretty easy grab. Bone Shard's not really what we're looking for. We're not really playing any of these other cards. Yeah, I guess. Once we play out the Skydiver, the Skyclave Shade, we do have some creatures that are a little more disposable than others. There's the Hero's Downfall. Though I don't really know if it's going to make the deck, it's definitely better than the other cards. Custody Lich comes back. Okay. It looks like we definitely chose the correct colors. We just have to find cards that are actually worth playing. Earthing Pod? Not playing Tendrils, so Earthing Pod might actually do something. We don't have any 3s. No creatures with 3 anyway, but we have some 2s. Okay. No power in the third pack. Spell Pierce, Massacre Worm, Bloodghast, and Coercive Portal. Of course, there's Mystic Confluence as well. Mystic Confluence is a pretty messed up magic card. A little mana intensive, but does things no other card really does most of the time. Coercive Portal's the only other thing that comes close for me. But I'm going to take the Mystic Confluence. Urza, Demonic Tutor, Ancestral, and Dothy Voidwalker. Voidwalker's definitely good. So is Demonic Tutor. We're not really doing anything in particular with it yet. I think the Voidwalker is probably worth taking, though we do need some better mana if we actually want to play it reliably. It's a little heavy at the top end anyway, so Rest and Time Warp. Is this a Time Warp deck? Certainly could be, 'cause Time Warp is just a good card. We have a lot of things to make use of. Only other card is Duress. I think we do take the Duress here. I don't think those other cards really make the main deck, and we'll put Duress in the sideboard. There's a Swamp Island. There's also a Deceiver Exarch and a Cabal Ritual, as well as a Dam. Can't take the Deceiver. Can't take the Kiki. Can't really take the Expansion Explosion. I think we have to take the Triome. We have enough cards. Ashiok, Putrid Imp, Glenalendra, Cryptic Command. Well, now that we took the Triome, our mana's a little bit better. Do you like Cryptic Command? You didn't really get there on the reanimation plan, so I do think having some kind of control elements would be good. Ashiok fits our curve better, but we do not have too many counterspells. Ashiok does win the game eventually. Considering we have the Scarab God, Glenalendra's probably the pick, but I like Ashiok more. More fun. Ooh, it's a very Kaito, Cameo, and Recurring Nightmare. Recurring Nightmare definitely doesn't hurt. We do have some stuff to get back. Yeah, we'll take it. Liliana. And the best Liliana? Yeah, I mean, it's definitely more likely to make the play than Ghost Rider. Imperial Seal or Murderous Rider? Hmm. Also Repeal. Imperial Seal I don't think is worth. Murderous Rider is just a fine playable. Repeal is also good. I think we have to take Murderous Rider for the removal. Well, we could play the Spell Pierce or the Massacre Worm. Massacre Worm is more of a toolbox card. Spell Pierce is a good sideboard card. I don't think we need any extra targets. We have plenty of things we can go get. So, yeah, we'll just take the Spell Pierce for the sideboard. Baneslayer? Probably does just win if we're up against mono red. You just can't race it at all. Seagate Stormcaller? I mean, we're not playing the other cards, may as well take it. Expansion Explosion or Dam. Don't have any fetches, so we can't really play the overload part at all. Can't really make use of the Badlands. Sneak Attack comes back. Well, we'll just take that out of circulation. Wishclaw Talisman. Frantic Search. Well, that is actually just a good way to get cards into my graveyard. Well, we ended up with a lot of playables. We just have to decide what the hell we're doing with them. Archetype comes out. I think Ulamog comes in. I think Duress might come in. Bone Shards comes out. Fatal Push into and Blood Chief's Thirst stay in. Days, Gilded Drake leaving Skydiver, Mezfiend. Skyclave Shade might come out. 26 cards, 3 more cuts. Hero's Downfall is the slowest. You know, that Bitter Blossom actually would have been pretty good. I don't actually remember what I took over it, but no regrets. As far as ways to get things out of the graveyard, we have Recurring Nightmare and the Scarab God. It's kind of a more of a value train than anything. We have different ways to get rid of this Ulamog if we don't want it. I don't know if Custody Lich is actually good enough. Well, it does immediately trade for a creature. Maybe it is good enough. You have a lot of control elements over here. I don't think we actually need the Entomb. Reanimator's kind of our secondary plan, and if we're not playing the Entomb, we don't play the Ulamog. We just play the stuff we have. 25. MOX Jet taking place of a land is probably not a good idea. Is Gilded Drake worth it? I think so. Expansion Explosion. Maybe not gonna do it. A little mana intensive. This is 24. 16 lands and 1 MOX. Well, we have a lot of early game value here with Narset and Ashiok and multiple removal spells. Shitload of removal, really. Yeah, I think this is fine. The Duress might be a little aggressive in the main, but I think it's alright. What I do wish that I had taken was him to Torok, but I don't mind having a Consecrated Sphinx. I think that was the pick anyway. Add some basics. Now we'll go 9-9. Mox is another black source, so we actually have a 10-9. That's pretty okay mana. Save the deck. Play game. See you in the first game. Alright, we got our first match. Let's do it. Always losing the die rolls. Unfortunate. Alright, so we do have turn 1 Mesmeric Fiend, but we only have these 2 cards that can make mana. We got some stuff we could do with it, and I'd really, really like to draw a land next turn so we can play the Ashiok, but it's risky. But I like risky hands. Let it never be said that I do not have guts. One? Well, ooh, you know, we could actually just play a Gilded Drake here. Or we can Mesmeric Fiend. Well, not gonna lie, I wasn't hoping to draw a 6-drop there. Let's see what's up with the Mesfiend. Metamorph, Kolagon's command, they don't actually have enough mana to cast any of these spells. First one up would be, I guess, Metamorph. They're kind of far from doing the Kolagon's command. So I think we take the Metamorph, yeah. Now they can't actually attack with the Ragavan unless they want to get blown out. Next turn I can take the Gilded Drake if nothing else happens. And they duress. Well, take a look, buddy. Probably going to take the Ashiok here. Yep, that's about right. We know what their draw step was. It's good news. We will choose to block here. I think we definitely do block. They could have the Metamorph back. I got rid of a couple things. Well, not a land again. It's a battle of who draws the land first. If they get a land, they're going to cast probably Metamorph and get a MOX jet. There's an island. That is a card, but it doesn't actually cast any of my spells. Not ideal. I think we do just play out the Recurring Nightmare, though. We get to play out any kind of creature. We can sacrifice it to Recurring Nightmare. Like the Custody Lich, that'd be pretty good. Habit of Carol Keep. Well, it's pretty bad for me. Exile. Something they can't cast. Which is good for me, I guess. Riftwing? We will suspend the Riftwing. They can only miss on lands for so long. If they drew a land, it would be pretty obvious to just slam it, so they didn't. We'll take 2, and they probably pass the turn. There's a swamp. Now what? I think we do just Lily. 6 cards. I think we do just start out by making them sack a creature. They draw a land, they can use Kolagon's command. Kind of get me here. But I think I have to take that risk. And they just concede. Good. Take it, and we're facing off against some kind of Grixis monstrosity here. I think Spell Pierce is fine. They did have some spells that looked like they were trying to cast some disruption and stuff. What looked bad was probably planeswalkers like Ashiok. It looked like it would kind of be attacked pretty quick. Opponent had a lot of stuff going on. I do like the Gilded Drake. They have some creatures I wouldn't mind stealing. If I trade this for a Hell Rider, I'm pretty happy. Well, not a Hell Rider, but there's some stuff I would not mind trading it for. Custody Lich is not at its best, but I think it's still good. Lily, I think, is worth keeping in just because it's removal. We're just going to run it like this. They're going to take the play, probably. I'd be kind of surprised if they didn't. We can say that we won our first game with only 2 mana sources, basically. Well, we didn't, but, like, I think the Mez Fiend is what won us the game there. If not for the Mez Fiend, we probably wouldn't have gotten there. We have a Zagoth Triome, turn 2 Dalthy Voidwalker. We can Grief if we need to. We might actually want to. We'll keep this. We have a lot of things we could play. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards in hand we can play. And since we are actually on the draw, we're actually ahead on mana, or rather cards. So I don't think it would be bad of us to just do the Grief plan now. Although we can just do it next turn with the Dothy Voidwalker. That makes sense. I don't know why I'm in such a hurry. Take a minute to ponder a better play, and it turns out the play is better. They're on turn 2 do nothing. It's fine by me. We're gonna try the Voidwalker. They're gonna cast a Mana Drain, which is pretty bad for me to see. Not really too happy about that one. I guess I should have seen that one coming, and I still should have used the Grief. I guess I was distracted. Now they get 4 mana, uncontested, possibly 5. This might lose me the game. Ymir Signet? Well, I'm not really afraid of that. Sedgemoor Witch? Well, that's not really gonna do it. Well, we can't really do too much about it yet, so we have a tap land here. Whoopsie. What do we do? Guess we Mesfiend? Three cards in hand, a Memory Delusion, a Murktide Regent. Well, they're pretty far away from having that do anything. Grief just says non-land card, so we'll take the Memory Deluge. They have now just a Murktide Regent and a land, and those don't do anything. So we're kind of stabilized now. Play a basic island. I don't know if it's the one that they had in their hand a second ago, so... Well, I can't block, so I won't. Can't cast the Murktide yet. We do draw the Swamp. Now I think we just Ravenous Chupacabra. You have no problem paying the 3 life. Oh, they drew a card. What's this? Daze? Yikes. Well, it was the island, and they drew a Daze, and that kind of destroys us. I guess I should have played around Daze with Murderous Rider. Or should have used Grief first. Next turn they can play that. Murktide Regent. 5 mana, 2 cards out the graveyard. So I think I have to Grief here. And I think I have to pitch the Fatal Push. Yeah. Guess I should have done it first. Unfortunate for me. No tax. We're gonna take some damage here. Oh, they drew another non-land card. Press? Yikes. Well, it does not get my Murderous Rider. That's the good news. We're gonna take 4 damage here. And we're gonna take another 3, 4, 5. It's 9 total. Go to 8. Then the next turn, go to 7, 6. Not ideal, but it's not dead. And we draw the duress, but they have nothing in hand. That's kind of justice, isn't it? We also have the Creeping Tar Pit. Would love to pay 3 life. Kill that. Have my murderous rider. They would not be unhappy to block. They have one card in hand. Does not seem to be anything that's really worth casting. We go to 6 life. Yep, seems to be a land. Although on the off chance that it isn't, I think we do just the rest of them here. Oh dear. Counterspell. Nice. Okay, I accept. I think we hold the land. I think there are sequences where that's good. Play the Murderous Rider, attack for 1 with the Mezfiend. Think. Take 1, nerd. Feeling pretty okay about this game. Started out pretty rocky and I did several different misplays. Well, you know, I say something and immediately they draw an Ashiok. It's pretty bad for me. They get 3 lands. Yeah, it's okay. Opponent's got to feel a little bad about that one. No attacks, as expected. Mystic Confluence, huh? This is an interesting one. So, if we let them get a creature off of Ashiok, we can Mystic Confluence it back to our hand, and then maybe like draw a card and counter a spell or something. So I think we just attack here at the Ashiok for 2. They do block, which is interesting. I don't reasonably think they're going to get to the -10. It is possible, but pretty unlikely. Fire Bluff Canal, not really afraid of that. Gonti? Well, I don't really want them to have a Gonti. They can get it next turn, whether or not I Mystic Confluence. Ooh, I don't think I play out the land, but could be wrong to hold it. I only get 1 card out of there. The other 3 do go on the bottom, so I'm not really too worried about, like, mill plan from Ashiok. We get our Gonti back now. I mean, maybe. Well, we are going to cast this. Counter, turn, draw a card. Yes. Target spell. Target creature. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, wow. And that earns the concession, and I win the match. I think that was a little bit premature, but I was drawing a card countering their spell and getting a Gonti into my hand, able to kill the Ashiok on the backswing and draw a card on my draw step, so I'm 1, 2, 3 cards up, and my opponent is disconnected. What a surprise on that one. Yeah, that's a fair concession, never mind. Alright, well, I'll see you in match 2. Alright, we are back in game for match 2. Hoping that this one goes about as well as the first one did. I would not mind that. We have Mesmeric Fiend, Thieving Skydiver, Daze stuff going on. I don't think there's a world where we're going to turn 1 Daze. Well, that's not very good. Student of Warfare? It's going to murder me. Good news is I might have an artifact I can steal with the Skydiver. Bad news is this Daze is probably never doing anything, ever. White red? Lotus petal? Oh dear. Oh no, that's really awful. I should have dazed that. Well, if I lose this match, it's only karma. Now I need to draw an immediate removal spell, or else this card is just going to run away with the game. I guess I was a bit distracted. We're gonna take a Zagoth Triome and a Swamp, cast a Mesfiend. Look at the 3 cards. Jitte, Avacyn. How much is this to equip? 2? They have 2 mana here. Swift Spear. Yeah, we'll take the Monastery Swift Spear for now. They're not 100% to have the mana to do things with Jitte this turn. We're gonna be taking some damage from that Layla. Probably gonna cast the Phyrexian Metamorph. I do think we have to block the Student of Warfare here. I think any road to victory does involve us necessarily being able to not take too much unnecessary damage. Mox would have been good there, but what can I say? We don't always get what we want. We need to find a way to get one of our cards off the battlefield. Leaving Skydiver block would do it, but I don't really want to do that. Pretty obvious reasons. I want to have the Skydiver to steal the Jitte. So I think what we can do is... What do we do here? I think this is just brutal no matter what. I think we Recurring Nightmare here. Next turn we can play the Thieving Skydiver. If we draw specifically a Mox, we can even steal the Jitte. They get the Swift Spear, that's fine. Whip up on the Swift Spear, which is interesting. We get a Smuggler's Copter and another counter. I take 6 damage here, go to 6. Pretty bad for me. Yeah, dazing the Lelia would have been the play that actually matters. I think I'm just dead here no matter what I do. Yeah, that will kill that. Means I'm not just straight up dead to combat damage now. Do have the Mystic Confluence that might get us out of some stuff. We have a pretty big Jitte. Raven Inspector I'm not really afraid of. Can't do anything but play the Mystic Confluence this turn, I think. They can just kill the Delphi Voidwalker. They can have that. We do have the Liliana, we do have a Riftwing. Alice Jailer? It's pretty bad for me. Blood Chief's Thirst there, I guess. Ooh. This is rough no matter what I do. Do Blood Chief's Thirst here? We have to Liliana here. Oh, I'm kidding. I'm just dead. Oh well. Whoopsie. I just showed them extra cards for no reason. What do we want against them? Spell Pierce seemed like it had some targets, but not enough. Can't play any of these cards. Yeah, we just have to start pulling the trigger on our spells a little bit earlier and try and get a better start than we did. We were also on the draw. That really didn't help us out. I don't think it's worth bringing in the Spell Pierce. We might even take out the Duress. Might even take the Bone Shards over the Duress here. Take out Ashiok, bring in Bone Shards. Yeah, I think we just run it back like this for now. It's pretty bad. This hand just doesn't really do anything. Whole bunch of uncastables. This hand, however, does a lot of things. I keep it, put the Murderous Rider on the bottom. I don't think we grief this turn. Black Lotus. Well, I guess that would be a reason to grief this turn. I don't know what this is. Raven Inspector? I'm not really afraid of that. 2/2. Get a treasure token, discard. Jesus. A lot of stuff. Certainly does a lot of things, doesn't it? I think we do have to fatal push it, sadly. I don't know if they have enough mana to really get going now, so... I think one of the ways that I win this game is just running them out of resources. If they play only one creature next turn, then I can still get them with Liliana. I mean, if they just have nothing, that's a-okay with me as well. They discard a Sword of Feast and Famine. Yeah, fair. They crack a clue. This flips, transformed into a 2/2 with no haste. Smuggler's Copter, that's pretty far away from being really worth. I guess I can turn it on. We only draw a Recurring Nightmare. Doesn't really do enough here. We'll make them sacrifice a creature. Will they crew in response? They do not crew in response. You just grief here now? Must have another creature as backup? Lotus Petal? Jesus. Alice Jailer. Well, it's a pretty good card, I guess. I guess the answer was grief. They're attacking me? Oh no, they are attacking. Liliana? Alright. Yeah, kinda under the gun here. Do have to do something. Luckily we do get to grief here. Jesus. This is rough. I think we have to take Showdown? Right now I don't see any pathway to victory for us, but that doesn't mean there isn't one in the future. They play the Abbot, and they get another creature. Good for them, I guess. And they draw a land anyway. He's good to do everything this turn. Yeah, I think I lose this game. They do actually have to double block if they want to get rid of the grief here. Then if I get another creature in my hand, I can actually Recurring Nightmare it back. Or do we just blow up the abbot and swing in anyway? We deal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to me on the backswing. Think all roads start with me getting in for some damage and ensuring that I get to keep. Okay, so we do get to 2 for 1 them here. I do unfortunately get to keep the monarchy, but did get another creature off the board, whatever that's worth right now. Well, if all they're doing is that, it means that I'm only taking 7 here instead of 8 more, which is what I was going to take before. 8. Catching the misplace I make right after I make them, unfortunately. Well, yeah. Ashiok. Well, if they didn't draw a creature, that does do something. Can't block either of these. And they can't do this unless they draw land, and if they do, I'm dead anyway. And what are the exiled cards? Mizium Mortars and a pair of lands? Well, it's not really good, is it? Got rid of the Fatal Push, so I don't really draw anything here at all. Chupacabra. If we survive, we can still die to Smuggler's Copter. They drew a land, we lose. Oh well. Alright, let's see if we can get it in match number 3. Alright, match number 3, here we go. Good arrests, as well as the days. Liliano to follow up. Feels pretty good. Alright, I'm back. We duressed, and we got rid of a Cultivate. Okay, we're back. It is turn 2. I duressed a Cultivate out of their hand, because it was kind of the only thing that was worth duressing. They could keep the Damnation, and I couldn't take the Grist because apparently it's a creature in other zones or something. Sakura Tribe Elder. Not really worried about the Sakura Tribe Elder, so I won't really duress that. There's a Scarab God. Certainly a good card. I'm just going to do this. We'll discard a Blood Chief's Thirst. They discard a Swamp. They get punished for not doing the Steve. They can attack here if they want to. That's still profitable for me. Yeah, no blocks. I've stopped actually keeping track of what their hand looks like. Gonna play the Voidwalker. Discard, Mystic Confluence, I guess. Damnation enters the exile zone with a void counter on it. Okay. We will play the island. Looks like they're on the do-nothing plan, even though I can't actually block because of Shadow. Yes, I think that's how Shadow works. I might be wrong. I'd like to keep TSG, so we're just going to do another discard. Wishclaw Talisman? It's pretty far away from being a problem. We will Dothy Voidwalker here. They can attack for 1 if they want to. Well, that didn't work the way they wanted it to, did it? Nice Mox Emerald, buddy. What's this? Wait, what? Oh yeah, that didn't have a void counter. Whoopsie. We play Gonti, however. Next turn. Wait, what? Really? Okay. Sure. It doesn't really do the stuff I think it wanted it to, buddy. Sure. Yeah, I think we have to let them do this. It's not great, but wrist. Okay. Please land? Hero's Downfall, huh? Okay, I think we do just make him sacrifice here. This Liliana's really sculpting the game out. Really changing how the dynamics are. Inquisition? Well, that's not going to do it. That's a scarab god, my friend. It's waiting on not a land. We will, however, cast it and take that. Oh, whoopsie. I didn't cast it with kicker. A little foolish of me. It would have been nice to have a Mox. That would have enabled me to play the Scarab God next turn. Birds of Paradise. Not really going to do it. We do draw the land. That's the good news. They're going to choose to not block, which is a good call. I would probably make the same call in their position. That's a Scarab God. Uptick. Best turn. I think the game's in our hands now. Ooh, can we get the grist back? Is that a thing we can do? I'm about to find out. We'll discard the Scarab God here. Now we have their Planeswalker and ours, kind of pulling a double duty here. We get the best of both of the worlds. We can sacrifice to get back something from our graveyard next. That'll be the Scarab God in all likelihood. Or no, Dothy Voidwalker for sure. Okay. Create a 1/1. Get back the Voidwalker. Oh, Fatal Push here. Plus Lily here. Sacrifice the token. Keep my Recurring Nightmare. Get the Voidwalker back. Attack for 3. It's a pretty good line. Pretty alright. Yeah, this isn't really doing anything. 1 card in my graveyard. I can make them lose 1? Nice. I can make them lose 1. Oof, they get some value off the Oracle. I think we are going to have to kill that, but the question is with what? I guess Lily. Ooh, no, we could just Oracle. Or, rather Riftwing. That's pretty good value. Pink. Just send that back on up top. We can Lily it away. I don't mind discarding the Recurring Nightmare. I think it's done enough. We get to make another 1/1. Consecrated Sphinx? We can do something with that, can't we? Kinda sad that we got rid of the, Recurring Nightmare now. But our opponent's pretty far away from winning the game. They get an Arbor Elf, and then they just die on the swing back. Well, I mean, you're gonna get to kill them with their Grist. Yeah, that's right. Okay, what looked good? I mean, a lot of stuff looked pretty good there. They didn't really have a lot of things to slow us down. Kinda just let us do what we wanted. They might have flooded out a bit, but I think that's beside the point. We'll keep the Bone Shards and put it in, bring in the Skyclave Shade, take out the Ashiok. I don't think we take out the Narset. We take out the Consecrated Sphinx? Or maybe the Scarab God? Maybe TSG is just a little bit too greedy with the Karakas in their deck. I think the Gonti's fine. If they want to make us replay that, we're okay with it. Would not mind to turn one MOX jet this time. Ask and you shall receive, say the magic gods. Blumenmarsh. Well, we're gonna cast a MOX jet, suspend a Riftwing, and feel pretty great about our lives. Yeah, it's a pretty good turn one. What do they have? Steve? I'm not too worried about Steve. Next turn they can play an Oracle Moldiah, but I do have the immediate punish. Might get a card out of it anyway, though. They swamp pass the turn, have days up. All things considered, this hand has panned out much better than I expected. The days just puts me so far above par. You take the days or the Steve, or rather the Hero's Downfall. Undo, undo. Yeah, I think we just let him have it. Does they get the Hero's Downfall anyway if they pay for days? You got opponent. They take that. They think they can completely play around days in perpetuity. Mishra's Factory is not the card I'm afraid of. They're gonna beat in for one. Yeah, I'm gonna be real. I don't know if my opponent knows that this card has text. Maybe they think it's just a 2-mana 1/1. I don't know. Maybe they're just really convinced that it's probably better on the beatdown plan. They're wrong, but evidently their hand's shaping up in a way where they can play around days without cracking Steve, and the one a turn is worth it. Caracas, sure. Well, that's certainly not a good one. Yeah, I guess they do get to play around days there, don't they? Only unknown I have is Swamp. They put an Ulamog in their deck? Wow, that's certainly a card. So clearly they have something going on behind the scenes. And it isn't hard cast Ulamog, I imagine. You get to bounce the Grist right now, which is obviously pretty good. You did get a 1/1 out of it, but they're not going to resolve it next turn. That's guaranteed. Unless I have some kind of mythical green counterspell or a blue splash I'm not aware of. We will play a island out. We have two unknowns now. And we'll be happy to trade for two here. They're gonna crack, okay. They want the ability to have this mana for something. Maybe it's use the Mishra's Factory. That's fine. If they play a spell post-combat, I get to bounce the Mishra's Factory as well. That's probably worse than just drawing a card. I'm not really worried about taking this damage. Really? Okay. You will just draw 3 cards, please? Okay, well, Ganti definitely stabilizes. 5 mana. I don't think Daze is doing anything anymore. Creeping Tar Pit can actually attack and block. murderizes the grist pretty well. So I think we do play it here. They want to Caracas this, I am more than happy with that. We can play it with any mana for as long as we want. We're going to take the Tireless Tracker and be happy about it. Whoops, should have attacked for 2. You're up 1 game. Don't know what this is. Sure. Dismember my 2/2. That already got really good value. Fine by me. Sword of Feast and Famine is not really what I was hoping to see. Blacken from green, huh? I discard a card, they untap all their lands. That's gonna hit me for 3. Protection from the green card I just stole. Not great. I do have some blue stuff. Can't block. I also have removal spells. Because I have plenty of things to discard, so that's not a big deal. Them untapping everything is kind of bad. They get another grist. Or either the original. And a mystery card in their hand. Second main, activate the Mishra's Factory. Kill the Gonti, I guess. Sure. So we can do a few different things here. I think Kill the Grist is the probable best play. Plus 3 mana, 1, 2, 3. Play a land here. Two, 3. Oh, I did it wrong. Well, that's kind of what I get, isn't it? So, notably, they're not really winning on board here. They're ahead by some damage, but I have enough here to where I can kind of overtake this. And they didn't draw something good here, otherwise it probably would have been a Windmill Slam. Expecting that last card in their hand to be nothing. We could start drawing cards with clues, attacking back with a Creeping Tar Pit if we need to. We also have a Thieving Skydiver that can take care of the sword. We'll discard an island. Pretty close game so far. I like close games. Close games are fun. Close games are good. Opponent in the tank. Thinking hard. Maybe something on draw step. Maybe they just left a stop they didn't know about. We have taken a lot more time than them in this game. Well, in the match overall. Maybe they'll just concede and let us get the 2-1. Come on. Let's hear it. Okay, our opponent has decided to do things. I've decided to not attack with Creeping Tar Pit like an idiot. And I just completely screwed up my sequencing here. They have protection from black. Pretty good sideboard card, I guess. Gilded Drake? Really? That actually does it. And we get to keep the sword, too? What a beating. Jesus. Talk about a turnaround. Wow, that's pretty brutal. Rippa Oppo, you know? And that's why you play Gilded Drake. You get to do some pretty goofy lines with it. They play a land, and what do we got? What do we got here? Some kind of naturalize effect. I wouldn't mind that so bad. 2 mana, do nothing? Okay. Not really worried about that one. Upkeep stop again. Alrighty. Guess we're pausing again. Alright, opponent decides to pass priority. I get a frantic search. 20 cards left in the deck. We're just gonna play a swamp. Crack my clue. Got a busted tireless trackers. Thieving skydiver. Well, a little late for that one. Frantic search? Hmm. We will cast with kicker. X is 3? Yeah. Now we get to keep the sword for good. Problem with having a Sword of Feast and Famine in your deck as black-green is that you can no longer do anything if your opponent takes the Sword of Feast and Famine. And, well, I've stolen it twice now. Channel. Well, kind of brutal for the opponent there. Channel's a really good card. I can see what they were trying to do, but... Oh. Well, this isn't gonna do it, is it? I guess I can go get Damnation. But I still just scraping tar pit, don't I? I still get to keep the sword. Okay. Sure. I get this too. Oh wow. What do we got? Yeah, as expected. Well, we're gonna start with this. See what we have in our deck that we want to go get. Uh, Narset? Reef? Skyclave Shade? Recurring Nightmare? Probably Recurring Nightmare. I think that gives us the highest win percentage here. Or Narset. I think Consecrated Sphinx. No, it's probably just Narset. Although I think the answer is still just attack. Can we do all of these things? Not quite. Well, actually, yeah, we can. Play an Narset. Activate the Narset. Get a Duress. Activate this. Equip the Sword of Feast and Famine. Hit them for 5. This can't be blocked. End the turn. You get a draw step and a Wishclaw Talisman. And all that has to be better than the Narset. Well, they do get back. Oh no. No, that doesn't trigger till that's already off. Okay. So that'll be going on the stack once they actually get something back to their hand. I didn't see what they got. Wishclaw again. Once again, this has to be something that beats Creeping Tar Pit. It's not. They lose the game. We win. We get 100 play points in less than 1 hour and 30 minutes. This has been an Ice Draft. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good day.